Richard for filming it.
Yeah.
And,
Happy you're here.
all right, first thing on the agenda, the special meeting is sidewalks in West Cornwall. Follow up on that issue. Roger Kane, the project manager, went out and looked to see if there's a state bid to put in sidewalks. There is none, but he has a list of contractors that he is going to solicit requests for proposals of design, build sidewalks. He's got a rough sketch, and then they would submit proposals if they're interested in constructing something along those lines.
When you refer to a state list of,
Yeah, the state has a bid.
Approved contractor.
They have
as opposed to a
prices.
boilerplate format as to how the sidewalk should be built.
Right.
Less
This-
so how the sidewalk should be
This
built.
is
and
if somebody wins the state bid to provide asphalt for this part of the state, or they have somebody that has file cabinets or something. Salt, we go in on the state bid for salt, but so they bid a lot of things, and those bids are available to municipalities, but there is no bid apparently for sidewalk. So anyway, not to be deterred, he's gone and gotten people that he feels can do a good job, about a half dozen contractors to work on some proposals. Now the time, and he feels the price will be somewhere $40,000 to $50,000.
What materials are we?
We're looking at
for
concrete.
The RFP, just straight concrete, no.
Concrete,
No stamped concrete, no
just
pavers.
pavers we've
No
heard.
concrete with pavers on the edge, like they did in Falls Village, so.
Haven't looked at-
Fancy it up a little.
Yeah, haven't looked at Falls Village, but I know they've had problems with those pavers moving around in other places.
They have in Litchfield, but I went through Falls Village a couple weeks ago, and so they have, the concrete essentially in the middle, but then as a border, they did the pavers, red pavers, so they look like brick on the
Right.
outside of the concrete, so.
I think it'll
fancies
look
it up
better,
a
I think it'll
little.
look better though, just have that grass on either side of it.
I don't know, it's
It's
just, depends on
possible.
what look you want, like the urban, the suburban, the rural,
The problem with the
it's-
pavers hasn't been determined in Falls Village.
It hasn't, you're right,
Yeah,
and
that's
I'm
the-
interested to see
I just
what
said,
it's gonna be.
it's hard to beat grass, I think just for the
But-
aesthetics, and I think also some people are saying, do we really need it, all this stuff, and if we just do a simple, fairly narrow impact, I think would be better than more.
I know. And in Lenox, Mass, they did the paver sort of in a herringbone
Nice,
thing. Looked really nice. How much
Yeah.
it costs, I don't know, but.
right? It's just more, yeah, I'd hate to have the whole thing start, we get it
Yeah,
in.
but I don't wanna get it in and have it just look like, ooh, what's that? Where am I, Torrington? You know?
I think people will be looking up more than they'll be looking,
Will the RFP have like pictures of what it will look like, or? Just
I
sort
assume
of-
we're just doing straight concrete. So,
So that's just gonna be the look.
yeah, pretty much, or else it'd be hard to, well, I'll talk to them, see if there's any alternates, but, so, there's other stuff we can do.
It'll be so wide, there must be breaks sidewalks have breaks
Probably, so
every,
Yeah.
it doesn't heave.
You're right. It's like it is in the school.
for expansion joints.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right. Doesn't look bad, I mean, there's one, there's a brick,
No.
there's concrete sidewalk at the school, it's grass on the side. Put some nice flowers on the porch of the pink house, donate some more geraniums, that's how people will know. So,
I guess that's true too.
So he's
Right.
he's moving forward on
Right.
trying to
on that, so,
come up with a list and
yeah, and we're, against the December deadline.
it's so
I
deep
know.
for so much
Right.
material underneath it, so no matter
Right.
what we do won't heave.
And the
so-
cutouts,
And the cutouts
and the handicap access.
Right, so he's defining
Right.
all of those
Right,
specifics,
yeah,
which is probably the most important critical component as
Yeah.
to how it gets built. What you're talking about sort of is the top color, it'd be the paint, if you will, of what it looks like, which can be somewhere between gray boring or something exciting, but I think it's more important that we make sure that we have the handicap access and the cutouts and all the rest of the things in the right place, and that it's deep enough to do whatever it's supposed to do, and so much rebar in it,
Yeah.
or some kind of reinforcing of some sort.
So we have to go to the Board of Finance. I've asked them to have their regular meeting on next Wednesday, and then we would meet next Tuesday and get a sign off on a town meeting, early September. And then these RFPs are gonna come back on the 25th, so we'll know of August, I believe, 25th, 26th. So in time for our meeting, which is like the 1st, yeah, the 1st of September. So we'd have a meeting, have a town meeting scheduled, because I want to get the Chronicle website, people know what we're doing.
So we're gonna propose to send it to town meeting on our next.
Well, I would say we
meeting, which is
can.
the 18th.
Right, I mean, I'd like to have something we
Finance
can.
meets on the 19th.
Right,
So there would be a town meeting on 9/1? Is that what you're saying?
no, that's our
That's our
regular
regular
meeting.
meeting.
So you got Labor Day coming, that's,
On the
it's a
7th,
weird,
Yeah.
it's a weird month, but I would propose that we would have something maybe like the 10th.
The 11th, is Friday the 11th.
Friday the 11th, the only problem is that everything else in our busy town, we got the Ag Fair on the 12th, we got the Bridge Dance on the 19th. So Fridays are gonna be problematic somewhat this month.
So what
So
were
we
you
usually
thinking instead
When we
of?
set up, I was thinking the 10th, just because people set up the Ag Fair. On the 11th.
Thursday the 10th.
Yeah. I
For
don't-
this town meeting,
Yeah.
the only thing on it will be
It would be this,
the sidewalks.
yeah.
And that will be, spending, what, 70,000?
No, it will be less, because it's, be some, we might say spend up to 50, thinking we're gonna spend 40, but at least that way, it wouldn't be the whole 70.
Well, we'll have the proposals back
Right,
by the time we,
Why wouldn't you go all the way to the 70?
because the 70 was for Cornwall Bridge and West Cornwall. We decided not to go to
So you
Cornwall
can't,
Bridge.
yeah, but you can't consolidate the
No, I
full
think
amount
that-
into one.
No, I think they want, well, I could talk to my
They
friend and see whether we can spend. I think we did put an estimate that this would cost 40 and the other one would cost 30, so we have to be somewhat near what we estimated to do.
what's
when
the
we got
time frame we need to have to call the meeting? To call, do we want to be setting the date and signing everything at our August 25th or 18th meeting next week?
Yeah,
We do.
we do.
Not, September 1st would be too late to be doing that, to get
Oh,
it in
you
the
probably, you
paper.
could. It's like you have to advertise it 5 days before the meeting, but it makes sense to do it 10 days. And it makes sense for us to set a date tonight so we can put it in the Chronicle, so people can know, when they get the Chronicle and they'll get the
Right,
website.
I have no problem about setting the date.
It's 5, you have to publish it 5 days before the
I mean,
event.
I think setting the date's fine, but we can, once we get the bids back,
Right,
we'll know actually how much we're going to spend.
right. Yeah,
But when
which
you
is
say,
entirely reimbursed.
I need to call my friend to see how much they will allow, who's the friend,
Well,
who's the they?
there's a person that oversees this from the Department of, whatever it is, Office of Policy Management. There's a person that
Oh,
handles
yeah.
all these Main Street grants.
Okay,
So he would tell us whether we could spend the whole 70, or whether he wants us to keep somewhat true to our estimate that we put in the application, because Roger, estimated that one would cost 40 and one would cost 30, and we'd be doing 2 sidewalks. So we'll see how he feels about, if you want me to, I can see what he feels about getting one sidewalk for 70 as opposed to,
well, that would make
One.
sense, because if we could have a really nice one in West
Yeah.
Cornwall, and have the extra funds. Well, it's not gonna happen in Cornwall Bridge, it doesn't sound like, so.
right,
See what's allowed anyways, and then we can go from there.
right.
Right now, we don't know what's allowed, or what will be granted.
I don't, what are we defining as nice now? You're back to your pavers or back to?
Don't know. The town could decide, I guess, if you could
Well, I
spend,
think we have.
if it's determined you can spend up to 70,000 and you could do a stamped concrete and it looks a little fancier, or you can only spend the 50 or the 40 and then you get the regular concrete. But right now, we don't know what our options are, or our choices are.
Well, I think the option is we need to decide, because if we're gonna have all this occur in a timely fashion to get it built.
Well, I know, but we've been talking about this for months and that's what I've been asking.
I'll call the guy up and see if we're bound to
Oh, that's fine.
our estimates.
You're bound to the 40 and the 30. Yeah,
Right.
that's all we need to know.
Right. Then it is problematic though, because if, well, whatever, we'll see, we will have to talk about this next month or next week. But I think it is important to try to get a town meeting date set, because then we are going to be pushing up against construction time. So
We
this-
can decide next week for the town meeting, right, how much
Well,
we're gonna
no.
ask for? Or no, it'll be too late? No, it won't be too late, right?
No, but we need to know what, the big thing is to establish a date for the town meeting in September.
Right.
Tonight would be good, so we can get it into the chronicle.
So the
before-
10th, so we're gonna do the 10th. Is there some reason we shouldn't do the 10th?
No,
The sooner
Yeah,
the
no,
better
the
in
town meeting on the
September.
10th this time.
okay,
The sooner the better. I
The
mean, I have no
question
problem
is,
with the
how much
10th.
are we gonna ask?
Well, we'll decide that next
Right.
week. We don't
Right.
have to decide.
Right,
make a
right.
decision.
even if we ask for 50, we can always at the town meeting adjust that to 36, 38, whatever.
It's always easier to go lower, not higher.
Right. Well,
You can't
the
You
town
can't raise it.
meeting, and also the board finance meeting on the 19th, so we still have time to fine tune the numbers, although we won't have the actual bid things back to the week after that.
Is he putting
Okay,
it out
so-
to, is he putting it out to bid at this
Yeah,
point?
subject to town meeting approval.
Right, right,
So I make a motion, we go have a town meeting on the West Cornwall sidewalks on September 10th, 7:30 at the school. And I will confirm that.
Do you have a copy of the RFP?
There is one somewhere. We
right.
have
I'll
that.
second that. Will there be a conflict at the school if we're using the gathering room?
We'll find out. I'll check
Yeah,
that
or at the
tomorrow.
beginning of the school year.
Right, and that doesn't, yeah, I'll check that, and if it needs to be adjusted to the town hall, we can do that. But main thing is, if we agree on the night, I'll get the venue set up
You could change.
tomorrow.
And this gives us enough time to have it in the
Right.
Chronicle.
Have it in the Chronicle, we can even adjust it probably on the 18th, but that's getting close to the deadline. And they may have an early deadline because we're late in May. All right, so is there a
2 seconds.
second? Richard seconded. Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Next is kayaks at Primo Lake. I did talk to the Hammond family, and they thought it was fine to have kayaks at the Primo Lake. Then I talked to people at HVA who actually hold the easement that was granted by the Hammonds for the town to have a beach there and the conditions under which the beach operates. And Elaine at the HVA said that in order to change the rules, there needs to be a legal review of it, and a lawyer has to change it on the land record.
Mhm.
And then when we propose the legal language, their board has to approve it, which means probably not gonna happen this kayaking season, but it can certainly happen,
Yeah.
and she thought it was a good idea, but they can't change legal documents just by saying handshake, it's okay, everything's good. We'll get our pen out and cross out that one, which is probably the right answer.
Oh, no, yeah.
So anyway, so I think we'll just,
So we need to get Crowley to
right,
draft up something
Yeah.
that we're gonna look at, and then finally get, and then propose it to HVA,
HVA, yeah.
and then have it put on the land records.
Yep. And then we'll be set for next voting season when we can
Good.
advertise that's what's happening. In addition, there's Wi-Fi, what is it, there's Wi-Fi available at the town beach, it's kinda neat, see people there with their laptops doing their thing. So,
Is there really?
yeah, so
Awesome.
Tammy did that, and, because I forgot what it was, but she shopped around and got it for the same price as the old phone, she was able to get Wi-Fi signal to the beach. So,
Good.
we have a little use of that, so it's been good. All right, so we will put off the kayaks at Cleveland
When
Lake.
he's not, Richard can be downloading movies off of the.
That's right, you can paddle out.
If he,
I have
if he
my
had a
own
laptop
Wi-Fi.
that was able
Yep.
to do it.
So, so then we'll put that off until we get the legal.
Well, it's good to have Wi-Fi there for people if they wanna use their cell phones as a call. you
Well,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just families, if
Yeah.
the kids are swimming, the parents can work.
Yeah,
User friendly.
yep,
It's awesome.
okay.
Okay, so that's it for the public session, then we have some litigation on River Road to discuss.
Okay.